the year 2001, should I compose a nation-building song or just blaze them politicians? But when I hear Pandey get 19 seats and he run and give a speech of victory, I tell myself something wrong, so I compose this song for kinky head people like me, because I don't understand what's really happening. For years, me Crooks and Panther was busting, we live a string. When I honestly believe the message was loud and clear, but the results from the elections proved to me stick-breaking black man air. We don't hear, so don't expect me to jam your prime minister. No, don't tell me. I stopped drinking bush tea for your fever. No, don't tell me. Cause you ain't do it once, but you did it twice. Elections fun is you choose Barabbas in front of Christ. So if you notice your little daughter bringing home a grand, because Connor sent she to a school inside the Bitam, and when she bring home the baby father, the man is a tyrant just like Pandey. Please don't stop me in the road to complain, cause I have nothing to say. My personal comments I will reserve. You get a government you deserve. So complain to me now, boy, you got some nerve. You get a government you deserve. Ding the day. See that line that hit it. Try my best to put sense in black man head. The consequence I was not afraid. But when I see Keith and Daphne on TV, deep in my heart I felt betrayed. Cause I remember in 1998 I got chastised when I sing this song. But if I did like game, I would have take out she name and deceitfully win me crumb. UNC corrupt like hell, but Sat Maharaj wouldn't say so. Black man open me mouth, he find that man in should go. To these negative response from the black man, I'm not surprised, because I've come to one conclusion: to the black man is his own demise. He ain't wise, so don't tell me nothing about the EBC. No, don't tell me, because I sure some of you vote for UNC. I said no. Don't tell me that they cancel the URP and that you can't get work to maintain your family. So if you end up just as a criminal on the run, because all the promises that they make, they ain't keeping none. And civil servants can't get it back pay, plus yourself can't get a 10 days. Please don't stop me in the road to complain, cause I wouldn't be amazed. My little knowledge now I must preserve. You get a government to deserve. To resort to protest now, you got some nerve. You get a government to deserve. Ding ding ding. Ding 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 ding. And you got to live with it for the next 5 years. It's from the public I get my lyrics. You just give me inspiration. You just give me the strength and courage to slaughter them politicians. But when I see you supporting Pandey and condoning all that is wrong, it's like giving me bread and a full glass of milk, then you turn wrong and kick it down. And they call businessmen parasitic oligarchies. But today just wanna and do crazy good buddies. What excuse you could have to put him back in power? If you ask Errol McLeod, he'll tell you that man was done for Tongue Cobra. Yes, sir. So don't tell me Caroni going through hell. No, don't tell me. I hear what the man can drink, he planning to sell. I said no, don't tell me. Don't tell me nothing about the Incogen deal. And how they never give account for the shipload of rice they steal. But if you notice, Carlos have a brand new Beamer. And he delayed the process till he turn a minister. And you hear he get millions in cutbacks from the Miss Universe show as a gift. Please don't stop me and ask me to confirm, because I'm pleading the fifth. My little kakada, I'll try to reserve. You get a government to deserve. Ask Manning how much money he left reserve. You get a government to deserve. Ding ding ding. Ding 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 ding. I feel sorry for loyal citizens who get caught up in the lacquer. But a fish always rotten from the head. Is Robbie and Pam put him there. Now Pandey get the taste of power. He feel that he's indispensable. Since I sing about the wife, he hate me for life, so they introduced clause 7. I didn't believe Kaisonians could be bought easily. I would like to know what's the price they pay for Gypsy. In my humble opinion, his actions was rather slack. I hope he don't say he bad lucky. If Ganga Singh drop some pipe on his back, down a track. So don't tell me about going back to school and learn. No, don't tell me. When my future was never your concern. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me nothing about being black conscious. When your behavior proves to me you're worse than Judas. But if the PNM end up winning the court session, and you land in jail for signing false declaration, and in the night a big strong prisoner making sure he enjoy your stay, go bother to write me and tell me that. Try and contact Pandey, cause the motto now in jail is protect and serve. You get a government to deserve. So tell me you get raped or you got some nerve. You get a government to deserve.
Because the section we do talk height, physical height 5 feet 4 inches, calypso height 17 feet 23 and a half inches. The man we have grown to know and love as the mighty midget, real name Weston Rollins. Put your hands together for Rock Rose, man.
November 7th, I see black man cry. Look, blood still running from black people's eye. But I remember when a sunrise, African rise. And I begged black man, please open your eyes. While I was singing and busting me liver string, black man asking me where Atlantic play.
man, you must blame yourself. Cause when I sing, they never listen where Coco say. Black man's mentality go on Spectrum and PSA. Big lyrics I sing in, they wouldn't listen to me. Black man telling black man, oh black man, come out to party. I remember when I sing Shang, we don't want it. Me say black brother say Coco, you're singing shit. So today say through my fault while you strike your heart. Black man, oh you look for that. I wonder why black man always want that kickstart. Black man, all you look for that. A man on a charge for interfering. Black man, all you still go and vote for him. Black man, how on earth you could condone this? Your daughter might have to work in this man's office. Then imagine this sex silver-headed pest. 12 fingers under your daughter's dress. Me is saying that Patrick should have win, sir. But even Jim Baker would have be better. All them women who went begging the other day about this fella, way all you have to say. Concerning this thing, all is silent and talking peace. So the office girls must be at the mercy of this beast. He was charged, so whether it is false or true, I'm concerned because I have a daughter too. I'm talking from my heart, I'm telling you. Black man, all you look for that. Why on earth all you always want a kickstart? Black man, all you look for that. Tobago, I was really annoyed with you, but I realized all you get catch too. Who would have believed them too? Would I sit with Pandey and give away Tobago Easter Monday? How the hell they could sit on the wrong table and then look for the best for their own Tobago people? But all you cannot quarrel, all you cannot fret. That's where you ask for, that is where you get. We still love Shadow Nelson and Calypso Rose. The world know we honestly recognize those. Dwight Young, a great footballer with Aston Villa. We always show love and respect to that fella. But all you smile when Robbie married to Pandey. I hope all you understand where Satmarat say. If he thought I marry a black man, he drop ship flat. Tobago, all you look for that. Remember slavery on the plantation? Massa used to use a black man to beat black man. So when I hear 17, I got a pain. I say, oh God, black man go beat black man again. Cause black man give black man soup, but black man will harm. Black man intention is to pressure his own black man. He give them soup, they say he treat them like an outcast. So no black man take smoke, hey.
They asked me up in Toronto, what's wrong with Trinidad? Jockeys sing we a calypso, for crime in your backyard. I told them, friends, I have to sing, but I'm so vexed with this crime. And when I'm vexed in composing, my kaiso does not rhyme. I don't rhyme, I don't rhyme. When I'm vexed, my words don't rhyme. You see, we police, it's my belief, under their brand new chief, criminals know half good brief. The next half is a bunch of fig. And men whom we take to make laws and put bandits behind walls. Sit down making telephone calls and whole day scratching their nose. What's wrong, you ask? Trinidad is class, it's just that 36 people blame me. Dog, I'm so vexed with bass. To rhyme is a task, because 36 people blame me. Dog, I don't rhyme, I don't rhyme, I don't rhyme. When I'm vexed, I don't rhyme. Ken Dennis in Toronto. They asked me up in Toronto about gangs, guns and killing. Jockey put it in calypso. Why so much kidnap?
And a good evening to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 8 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Dial. Saying a special good night to each of you listening locally, regionally, and internationally. Our good friends out there in Virginia, those of you in Maryland. You're the New York squad. Special good night to each and every one of you. Our Texas listeners. Those of you in North Carolina and South Carolina. Arizona, California. Florida. Washington, D.C. Wherever you are, those listening out there in Canada. Hey, Patricia and Matthew, special good night to you. And my good friend Ian, I know you're locked in.
When I'm vexed, I don't rhyme.
And all of you on the live, I'm going to do the roll call in a short while. Remember to like and subscribe and share. You know, I want 100 likes on the YouTube, at least 100 likes on the YouTube, and at least 100 likes on the Facebook before the end of the program. Remember to also share the program via Facebook, and to also, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube page. If you're viewing on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed.
To stop murders in Trinidad and youths from smoke.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot to speak about tonight. As you saw earlier, I said it, this is where the conversation begins.
I'm not the criminal type.
just go over there. Let me see. Let me see. I start with YouTube tonight. Good night to you, Agnes Henry, Phyllis Mitchell, Wilfred Antoine, Gemma Warwood, Deborah Laborde, Wilva Devonish, Faithlyn Halley Douglas, Michelle Alexander, Clive Raymond, Kathleen Ledlow, Alban Harris, Fitzroy Philip, Miriam Samuel, Gavin Thomas, Henry Shaitan, Emerson Edmond, Matthew Bowen, Mary Noel, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Alban Harris, Lydia Isaac, Maria Noel, Cynthia Bartholomew, Sherma Jeremiah. Good life, good night to you, Stephanie John, Public Notice, Christine Otley, Gertrude Abraham, Jamari Grandmother, good night. Yeah, Marilyn Ferguson, good night to you. Sky, Wendy Telesford, Jackie Raymond, Baby Daddy, you're in the house. Dave Felix, Eliza Bernard, Anna Barbara, Thomas, good night to you. Devin James, Alcy Peters, Stephen Simon, Maria Marcel, let me see, Nimrod Olivier, yes boss, Dominic Antoine, Errol Bonaparte, Beavis John, Hermina Batiste, Jacinta Livingston, good night. Oswald Belfon, let me see, Steve Sylvester, Kathleen Knights, Kim Creedland, good night to you. Maud Martin, brother Adrian Watts, good night to you. Janice Mitchell, Vanessa Lalji. Let me see, I'm seeing Samuel John. Did I call you out? Just in case not, good night again to you. And let me see, Kevin, good night. Sandra Pascal, good night. And Natalia John, good night to you. And let me go over on the Facebook, yeah. And Kathy Albert, I know you must be there. And Maxan, good night, girl. Yeah, Tam Marshall, Sherms, Houston, Cutie, good night to you. Teresa, Empress Cyrus, Manda, Charles, good night to you. Kish Walcott, Cynthia Bartholomew, Donna Langdon, Junior George, Merrill George, Tessa McFarlane, Dr. Dubois, good night to you. Amanda, good night. Walland, good night to you. Margaret and Ansel Landy, Paula Tecker, seeing Sean Algeri, seeing Langdon dancing down the place there. Kishon, good night. Crystal Theodore, good night to you. And let me see, Gaylan Thomas, I see you there. Wendy Ann McGuire, good night to you, Nursey. Jill Williams, good night, my dear. And let me see, who's there? Mosquito Man, I know you're wrong somewhere. Yeah, Prince. I know all of you all are wrong. All right, so a special good night. Nakisha, good night to you. So a special good night to each and every one of the listeners to tonight's program. Yeah? Mm-hmm.
When I'm vexed, I don't.
So remember, like, subscribe, share. So if you're on Facebook, you like, you follow the page, you like, and then you share the program. If you're on YouTube, you subscribe, you like, and you make sure you could share and thing too. Yeah, you could share the YouTube link via WhatsApp and different things.
Early in Toronto, they asked me up in Toronto. What?
And the first one I'd like to speak about is that there is a tropical storm that has formed. Now, don't get worried and think I say tropical storm and all kind of thing. But a release has been sent out. Let me just pull up that release on my end here so that I can read it for you. But a release has been sent out by NADMA. Let me just read. The Meteorological Office at the Maurice Bishop International Airport has informed the National Disaster Management Agency that at 5 p.m. the center of Tropical Storm Brett was located near latitude 11.3 north, longitude 42.2 west, or 1,133 miles east-southeast of Grenada. Brett is moving towards the west near 21 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue for the next several days. On the forecasted track, the center of Tropical Storm Brett will affect the Lesser Antilles from as early as Thursday morning into Friday. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 40 miles per hour with higher gusts. Strengthening is forecast and Brett could become a hurricane in a couple of days. Tropical storm force winds extend up to 45 miles from the center. The estimated minimum central pressure is 1,008 millibars. The Meteorological Office will continue to monitor Tropical Storm Brett, and NADMA will provide updates to the public. Grenada and its dependencies are not, and I repeat, are not, and I repeat again, are not under any storm watch or warning. Let me read that line again, because some people hear everything before and everything after and they don't hear this part. Grenada and its dependencies are not under any tropical storm watch or warning. All right. For additional information, please contact Mrs. Ruth Jacob Roberts, Public Relations Officer at NADMA. And you see the numbers on the screen there. Right. Nice. Right. So NADMA, remember, you're taking official information from the official sources. NADMA. All right. So Grenada and its dependencies are not under any storm watch or warning. You know, some people go around out there and say, well, yeah, it's storm. Oh, gosh. And no, what we have to do is remain prepared. All right. All we have to do is remain prepared. So I'm just putting up the latest satellite imagery I was able to get off of the, well, it's a particular site I use, NOAA site, right? Yes, so this is the latest satellite footage I was able to get off of them. As usual, it is important for us to remember that we are in the hurricane season. Yeah, we are in the hurricane season. And we don't need to be impacted directly for us to be affected severely by a hurricane or tropical storm or even just a depression passing through. Yeah, we know the areas that have flooding and so on. We don't need to wait until we hear that a tropical storm is coming or hurricane is coming or so on before we go through the process of making sure that we clear the drains and make sure that we cut the overhanging and so on. It's the hurricane season. Even if there's nothing out there, we should make sure that we are prepared. So we have to ensure that we cut the overhanging, we clear the drains where we have to clear the drains and so remove the debris, because you know there are freak storms that happen from time to time, and you could end up in a situation where you have like hurricane force winds or high winds that could, like you have galvanized and so, that loose and different things that could throw it around. So we have to make sure that we keep our surroundings clean. Remember, you also have dengue impacting Grenada right now, and I'm also hearing COVID as well, but we have dengue impacting Grenada right now. We need to make sure that we keep our surroundings clean as possible. So we need to ensure that we move all of the overhanging and so. In other words, be prepared. Don't wait until you hear NADMA have to tell you, get ready. Make sure that this is the hurricane season. We know for the next few months, we will be hearing of different systems forming out there. It has happened since before since before Africans were over in the West Indies, this thing been happening. So, you know, yeah? So we have to make sure that we are prepared. We know it happens. We know this time of year. Make sure you have your hurricane kit at home, your non-perishable foods and those sort of things, your medication, those kind of things, your flashlight, your emergency radio, all those sort of stuff. Make sure you have the containers to place your valuables in case a system does hit. Just remember, there's no child in secondary school now that knows, and I don't think even those in TAMCC may know, what Hurricane Ivan was like. None of them. The young ones don't know. Those of us who lived through Hurricane Ivan and Emily, we know what it was like. Those young ones who there right now, those in secondary school, there's not a child in secondary school that was alive when Ivan hit. Yeah, none. All right, and I'm still thinking probably Nulo and TAMCC might be the same situation. You may not find any that was alive or know what happened, at least when Ivan hit. So it is important that we ensure as a family that you have your hurricane plan, that you have your hurricane kit in place, that you also have your supply of water and so on. Remember after Ivan, the pipes were busted all over. You couldn't get water. You had to go to the spring and go to the river and those kind of thing, which is why it's also important that we don't pollute those sources of water. All right? You could try and get your solar panels and different things if you have access to that. I mean down at the Trade Center, I believe, yeah, they sell little solar units and so, emergency solar units. So in case something happens, you have a little unit that you're able to use so that you can charge what you need to charge and operate what you need to operate and that kind of thing. All right? But the basic thing is be prepared. All right? That's the main thing, is to ensure that you and all of us need to ensure that we are prepared. All right? Good. Again, I'm not saying that anyone needs to get scared and start to run around like headless chicken and buy out all the cricks in town. No. You know that would be bad. We like to go and buy out all the cricks and that kind of thing. No, I'm not saying that that is the situation. But at least don't wait until you had to run in town to go and buy the cricks. Now, if you could buy it, you have the little $2 extra right now. Right. See if you could get it and you have it home and so just in case. All right. So that in case something comes our direction, in case I'm seeing a lot of the models has these systems going north. But you know, the models could be saying north and other things can happen. We hope it doesn't happen because we know the kind of incompetence we have as a government right now. So we pray nothing like that happens to us. Yeah, no matter which government in power, we pray something like that never happens to us. But when you have the bunch of incompetence that we have now, we especially pray that we don't have that sort of thing taking place. So make sure that you safeguard yourself. All right, so if you can purchase your tin stuff and your cricks and your medication and your first aid kit and all these things, your flashlight and that, and you can have it there. So in case something happens, you already, you don't have to be running to go and stand up in no long line in a supermarket. You've got your stuff already, all right? Yeah, not forgetting today is June 19th, huh? You know what happened in 1980 on this date, huh? Infamous day in Grenadian history. I wasn't around. I can't talk about it. Those who was around will talk about it. I can't tell all you about it, no. People who was around, that is one thing. I know my limit and I know my place. The guys and them who was around during that time, they will tell you all about it. I was a little child. Me, I wasn't even around. No. I can't talk about that particular one.
Double tax of people fool your treasury. You got to maintain an efficient army. And too much pressure from...
Also, I'm seeing the list of the Power Soca Monarch preliminaries competitors. It's out. And I know Lassa just had court. They'll be there on the 6th and 7th. Cuthbert Peters Park in St. John. They'll be there on the 8th of July. And Boss Yard on July the 9th. They're starting at 7 p.m. And the admission is $15. So those of you that want to go out and support the soca artists through the preliminary rounds. And those of you not in Grenada, I think they are pay-per-view, man. You could see it here. Check Spice Mass page. I think they have a day. One of the issues that keeps coming up over the weekend, I've heard it several times over the weekend, even just before I came into studio today, I was getting messages from a very concerned child of one of the people. I'm seeing a situation where several people are complaining that they have not been paid. Yeah? We know that ain't supposed to be happening. A particular minister tell us, yeah, Lennox tell us, let me see if I could find Lennox thing by. Lennox tell us that ain't go happen. Yeah, he said they could pay salaries and things, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Because Lennox tell us that ain't supposed to happen. Let me hear what Lennox did say.
So don't worry your head too much about empty treasury. We in the NDC, we have the exposure. We have had the exposure. Good? And we know what to do to find money, to look after the needs of our people. And as I have the mic, let me say, as we go around the country and we speak to our people, that's a topic that they always say to us, we go pay salary late and we don't know how to run a country. Tell them that we say we know how to run a country and tell them that we wouldn't pay salary late. All right? Tell them that affirmatively. We're not going to pay salary late and we know how to run a country.
Yeah, so, I mean, I heard him say that then, but the reality has been different because I'm hearing of one situation, for instance, of people who have been contracted for the past 2 months to work under the SEED program and to go out there and recertify individuals in communities around the island. And they have not been paid for the last 2 months. And in fact, I found it very strange that the contracts that these individuals have, here is that they're being paid on a monthly basis, not bi-monthly, because I realize government's supposed to be paying bi-monthly now. But their contract, even though it was done just roughly 2 months ago, it still pointed to monthly payments. And even those monthly payments are not being made. And we're speaking about people here that have to find the money to go into the communities, which are not necessarily the communities that they are from. So they may have to leave one community and go to another. So they may be in South St. George and have to go to St. John. They may be in St. Mark and have to go over to St. Andrew to assist with the recertification of individuals under the SEED program. We have seen an increase in the number of people under SEED. The last figures that were given by the ministry showed not a decrease, but an increase in the number of people under the SEED program. So the recertification is taking place right now from what I'm hearing. They've given the people working under that program up until the end of this month to complete the recertification process. Indeed, I know that their contract expires at the end of this month. So those individuals have been told that they have up until the end of this month to complete the process. Yeah? And some of the areas they're going into, good luck with that one, trying to complete the process in that space of time. But anyway, I hope that you all do get it done. But at least the payments that ought to be made to these people are not being made. Also seeing a situation with several people who ought to be receiving pension payments have been complaining that they have not been receiving their pension payments. And some are saying they haven't received it in a timely manner. Some are saying they haven't received it at all. And these are not people that have not submitted life certificates and all of that. So don't try to make it look like, oh, they were supposed to submit a life certificate and they did not, or they were supposed to fill out these forms and they did not. These are people that have been through the entire process, and for whatever reason, be it they don't have money to pay them, or be it that they are mixed up within the system, these individuals have not been paid. So we're hoping that that situation as well becomes rectified and that these individuals who need to be paid are paid. Because you're talking about pensioners here. Some of these people are people that are depending. That's the only source of income. They're depending on it. You promised that you would pay it, but now they are not receiving it. Yeah. Also, hearing of some teachers who got they get one of the fortnight, they miss a fortnight. So like a month they haven't been paid, and then when the month comes, they're not receiving the other payment that they were supposed to receive. I'm hearing of people within the teaching service as well that have not received the increase for 2023. They're still getting the bare salary. So the increase that was signed to by the Grenada Union of Teachers, I don't know, maybe they're afraid to talk to Judas, but anyhow, at least they're talking to me. So many of them who were supposed to receive the increases, I think it's a 4% increase for the year 2023, have not been receiving that increase on their salary. They're still receiving the salary at the 2022 level. So they're asking what's happening with that, because at least if they get it and they get it retroactively, they don't mind. But they're not getting it every time. In some instances, one teacher was telling me that for a month they weren't paid. They were supposed to be paid fortnightly, remember? They were not paid. And then when they did receive their payment, it was a fortnightly payment and it did not include the amount that they were supposed to receive for the previous period. So that has been happening. Some teachers have said that to me. I'm hearing it's happening as well to workers within the general hospital, the medical profession, nurses, doctors, etc. Some of them are having those issues as well. So there are several issues that are going on there that really, really need to find out about. But there's a serious one that I want to come to as well when it comes to healthcare. Outside of the fact that we have the dengue outbreak, I find it strange we're not hearing much about that right now, but I know that it's a serious situation. We're also hearing of a situation when it comes to COVID. I know of at least one person that's in isolation with COVID. I know of another one that came out from isolation. So there is COVID in circulation again. At least they can come out and say that, look, there is a situation. Remember to sanitize in circumstances where you think you need to wear a mask or something. But at least they can come out and say something. But I'm just hearing, by the way, that there's COVID out there. I'm also hearing situations. Very, and this one is these two I'm about to speak about are very disconcerting. One is in relation to people who are going to the main hospitals, be it Maribor or the General Hospital, I haven't heard it, and I wouldn't say that I hear it and I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it for Carriacou and Princess Royal, but I've heard it for Maribor and I've heard it for the General Hospital here, of people, especially going over the weekend and being told, hey, go to all your clinic. I don't know if a person goes there on Sunday night, what clinic you expect them to find? What clinic you really expect a person who is in pain, a person who is having problems breathing or so on, yeah, or having some other issue, and they're saying now that the respiratory ones, the persons who are having the problems breathing, they're going to deal with them, yeah? But you're hearing now of people that are going to the emergency room with different issues, and it seems as though unless you have a wound that bleeding all over the place or whatever, like, can't be bothered, yeah? And then you have the situation where doctors who ought to be on the ward, in other words, they are scheduled, they are slated to be on the ward, and they are being taken off of the ward and told, go and hold on in emergency because we don't have a doctor there. And it's creating a situation where the doctor is performing 2 jobs, getting paid for 1. So they're getting paid for being on the ward, they're not getting paid for being in emergency, but they have to hold on in emergency. Yeah? And you can't blame the doctors for that. You cannot blame the doctors for that. Yeah? So we're having these situations taking place. You're also having the situation with the lack of staff when it comes to nurses and so on, that many nurses are complaining that they overworked. I spoke to a nurse recently who was damaged. Yeah? Who was damaged on the job. Yeah? Simply because they overworked and they don't have the number of people that they need to have to be able to carry out certain tasks and so on. So these things need addressing. But then again, we have an absent Minister of Health. The last thing I saw with him is that he out of Ireland, and that if you need to contact the constituency office, this is the number. I don't know who the hell tell Laco that he have constituency office, but he seems to think that he has a constituency office. The man who got the worst cocktail, they beat him like a bongo drum in a Nyabingi dance. But he believes that he has constituency office, yeah? So he has constituency. I don't know what criteria is being used for him to have a constituency office, nor for seed, housing, or any of the other things that have to be carried out on behalf of the people of St. George Northwest could possibly be taking place from any office that he's in charge of. He's not the MP. Yeah? He's simply a senator. Today he could be a senator, tomorrow he could be not a senator. Yeah? It's as simple as that. All right? And while all of that is happening, and I don't know if some people in my group feel that are backward, you know. Yeah. We have this situation. And Dr. Modest, all you know I like to call on Dr. Modest. Dr. Modest, can you give me a call, please? Yeah, Dr. Modest, let me make sure the phone lines are clear. And I would like a call from Dr. Modest. This is a memorandum that was passed out to the doctors last week. And it says here, it's very clear, but for those of you listening on 91.9, 91.5, I'll be reading it for you. It says, from the medical director to all doctors, date 15th of June, 2023, so that's last week Friday, and subject CBC and electrolyte. Please be informed that only urgent CBCs and electrolyte tests are being done at a laboratory for inpatients. In order to conserve resources, kindly avoid duplicating tests. Your cooperation and understanding are appreciated. Let me read that again. It says, please be informed that only urgent CBCs and electrolyte tests are being done at our laboratory for inpatients in order to conserve resources. Kindly avoid duplicating tests. Your cooperation and understanding are appreciated. So I'm asking here, what about the patients who come into the emergency? Are they getting the CBC tests done? Because it seems as though what they're saying here is that they are lacking the reagents and so on to do tests, because they're trying to specify that they're doing the tests for inpatients. So am I reading it wrong? Yeah, that they're doing the tests for inpatients in order to conserve resources, because the impression that I'm getting from the doctors, the impression that I'm getting from the nurses at the general hospital and other locations are that if somebody comes in emergency, that these tests are not to be done. And that these tests, because that is how they're reading it, that these tests are only supposed to be done on patients on the ward. So in other words, because the CBC tests, you may not understand, CBC tests and the electrolyte tests and so on are important. If a person comes to the emergency room, for instance, and they may be in shock because they have some sort of infection, the CBC test could pick up that they have an infection, a blood infection or whatever it is, and other things. And I don't want to go into details. I never did a medical degree in my life. Yeah? And that is why I'm asking Dr. Modest. Dr. Modest, where are thou? Call Dr. Modest if she ain't call me. No. Dr. Modest, where are thou? Yeah. To give me a call. Because this one, yeah, come on. Seriously. Yeah, and they can't say that's not true, eh? They can't say this is not true because I've got it from multiple sources that this is what is taking place. And the understanding of the medical professionals there at the health facilities are that if somebody comes into the emergency and you are there at the emergency, that you don't do the blood tests for them. You don't do those tests. The CBC and the electrolyte tests and so on, that you don't order those tests. You don't have those tests done there. I have heard of individuals who've said that they went there, yeah, first hand, well, second hand, because I've heard it from somebody who went there and they had to go and get their tests done outside of the hospital. Yeah, I've heard that. From more than one person, actually. In one instance, a while back, not within the last month, I heard of an individual that went to do tests and they draw the blood and they tell them, we're taking the blood, but we ain't sure if we're going to be able to test it. That's imagine that. You go to the hospital, they take you, they draw in your blood, you know, they have you sit down and they take the needle and they draw in your blood, and then they're telling you they're not sure if they will be able to test that. Yeah? So we have those sort of things taking place within the health sector now. And you know what I'm going to do? Let me see if I can find Dr. Modest on my own. Let me see if it's not Dr. Modest. I get in there. Let me try. And we have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Yeah, so we have those sort of things taking
Hello.
within the health sector.
Hello. Dr. Modest?
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Modest. We have you on the line. Good night.
You have me on the line.
Yes, you are live, Dr. Modest. You are live.
I was looking at the memo. I was listening to you and trying to make sense, trying to recall my knowledge and trying to make sense out of it. So, looking at the memo itself, it does. I didn't see that it said that it was only for inpatients.
Mm-hmm.
I got the impression that when you have inpatients, that careful how you on your inpatient.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that it said that you cannot do it on outpatient, because there are certain times when decisions have to be made, whether, like maybe in accident and emergency, whether that person needs an urgent treatment. If the person has been hemorrhaging, you need to check to see how low or how high. People will say, well, if their blood low, usually they refer to the HB, whether some urgent attention or action has to be taken. So I cannot comment much on outpatient coming into accident and emergency, for example.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying, that the impression that the medical professionals are having is that they ought not to conduct that test at the emergency, which I found to be a problem, if they are having that impression.
No, yes, but okay. So if we get to the essential part, I from looking at that, it says to me that there is a shortage, and the there is nothing wrong with saying do not to avoid duplication, because even if you have a lot and you sometimes they do it in casualty, sometimes they do the same thing half an hour later on the ward because the person on the ward doesn't know that it was done in casualty and vice versa. And sometimes you take it this morning and depending on the person's situation, somebody take it this afternoon and when it's not necessary. Even if you have a lot, it must not be wasted. So I want to encourage that we save things as much as we can. We are a poor country. Now, the thing is, and I know I'm putting out my neck because every time people attempt to chop that neck, that little piece of neck. But I will do what I am supposed to do, speak on behalf of the people, regardless. So let them gang me up, let them say all kinds of things, let them ask all kinds of questions that they don't know about. I will continue. That will not silence me at all. I want to be very clear on that. Now, health is one of the most important things in people's lives. I don't know, after God, I don't know what comes next, but I'm sure health takes a close runner-up somewhere after our relationship with God. So, and that is the wealth of the nation. A healthy nation is a productive nation. It builds countries. It keeps people happy. It prevents people from maybe doing other things. I heard a statement that if you pay ministers, well, it prevents them from being corrupt. So maybe if you're healthy, it prevents you from being corrupt too. But my question goes further than just the shortage. This talk has been going on for the longest while. And what I don't understand is why the government of the day feels that they do not have a responsibility to the people of this country to explain certain things to them. And what I don't understand is why some people are accepting it and even defending it. It is mind-boggling. I cannot understand it at all, because any day, any one of us who is well now could be sick the next minute, the next hour, the next day. If it's not us, it could be a loved one or just somebody in the community. And if we care about human beings and mankind, we should be care about the health of our neighbors and our citizens. So if there was a shortage, and shortage happens at any point in time, but it becomes bothersome when the shortage is prolonged, and there is not a plausible explanation why it is happening. So people like you and myself, Sheldon, and others, we must talk. So I want to beg this nation, have patience with me and maybe with Sheldon as well, because we are seeking your interest. We are seeking the interest of all of us, bearing in mind that any one of us could fall sick at any time. So it's the prolonged state and the almost deafening silence that nobody, whether it's the Minister for Health or the Prime Minister or somebody in government or some senior person in health, is saying, look, we have the medication. We were short on A, B, C, D down to F. Now we have A, B, C. And we're expecting D, E, whatever, down the line at a certain time. You may get it at that time. You may not get it. But give us some reasonable expectation as to when this hemorrhaging in terms of reagents and other healthcare supplies will stop. And I think it's a reasonable thing to ask that you let us know what the status is. And I spoke of this on the last sitting of Parliament, and tomorrow we have another sitting. So I am keeping my fingers and my toes crossed that somebody, the sitting Minister for Health, he's not a member of the House of Representatives, which is our lower house. But somebody could pass on the message and tell us truthfully what the situation is. And I think it has gotten to the point where we need to see real photos. the boat that brought it in, the plane that brought it in, Amerijet when it was being offloaded, when it's being brought into the hospital. We need something to rejoice about in this country. And if the medications and the reagents are of a reasonable level, I would be the first to rejoice. So that is my main thing. This letter, this memo, is a symptom of the problem. It's not the problem. It's a symptom, and it's a signal that just perhaps we may not have resolved the issue to any significant level whereby people could feel comfortable. So, Sheldon, that is my concern. Where are we? And I have a long list, and a media person, asked me for the list the other day. And I was very hesitant because I am saying, boy, I don't want to scare people or frighten people. However, I am saying that maybe the government has done something we don't know. And what if that long list has been cut by half or 3/4? I don't want to share a list that is not up to date. But I'm hearing a lot of things from people who have gone and have not gotten and so on. But the government has to give us some authentic information as to what this situation is so that we can move on to something else, something good, something maybe not so good, something sad, but we can move on and address other issues. So I am extremely concerned that to date I have not heard any plausible explanation for the situation that we have been in, and any kind of consolation that this matter has been remedied significantly. And from here on, we're going to continue to pay the OECS, PPS, we will honor our debts and so on, so that we will not fall back into this trap. And I don't want anybody to tell me about the international situation where there are some shortage of jobs. Yes, there is, but a lot of the things are missing are not based on that shortage, and we have to be clear on that. So let us not continue to play with people's lives and people's health and give those kind of, mouth open, word jump out answers. And Grenadians, fellow citizens, fellow brothers and sisters, you all may not consider me a sister, but I do consider you brothers and sisters. I want you to be sensible about this thing. I want you to speak the truth. And if the government in office, under the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, if the government has done well and have remedied the situation, then back them. But if they have not done, then you need to question them because it concerns you and your life is at risk. And let us stop playing political games with the lives of Grenadians and maybe a few trips less. And I spoke about the $3 million that it is alleged that the Prime Minister has exceeded for travels in the past year. So I think that is one of the achievements that they might be talking about come 23rd.
The most
June.
in travel.
Pardon?
The most in relation to travel ever by any government.
Well, that might be deemed as a success, but I just want to remind that when you travel on the behalf of the nation, you have to come back with something in your hand for the nation, or on paper, or whatever. So I am still concerned, and a CBC is something that is very useful because CBC means your complete blood count.
Well,
And it counts the red blood cells, the white blood cells, the platelets. I don't want to get too scientific about it, but however, if you don't your red blood cells, if your red blood cells are in trouble, then the oxygen that is carried around your body is in trouble. If your white blood cells are in trouble, then the defense of the body is in trouble. If your platelets are compromised in any way, then you could have bleeding situation. So this is very important for the functioning of the body, and also the electrolytes. low electrolytes have indication for health, high electrolytes, when you have too much, have indication for health, kidney problems, and other things. So I hope that the matter is resolved soon, and let us get something to celebrate about, that we had a shortage of medication for a very extensive period, but now that problem is solved and the government has it under control, and they will ensure that at least the majority of supplies are there, and that whenever there is shortage, because it happened in our time, but what we did, we fixed it quickly. So maybe they could learn from us, and
Well, Doc,
you know,
I'm looking
and
here.
we could help them.
I'm looking here at some of the comments that are coming in while you're speaking, and I'm seeing one individual saying that my daughter went in the emergency room for asthma. They didn't have any medication, plus she had to have to do some blood works. They tell me I have to go private. Another individual is saying that, yes, I went to the lab on Friday last with my 8-year-old son and was told to come back on Monday, and went back and they draw the blood for the CBC and gave me to go to a private establishment to get it done because they don't have it, and many of us was given the blood to go test elsewhere. So I paid $50 at the hospital and $25 at the private place. So I'm seeing
Brother Sheldon, I'm hearing some of them stories as well.
two others have messaged me and said that they had situations where they had blood drawn and they can't get results, and this is over a month. They can't get results.
Wow. So the situation is dire. It is serious, and I really think that by now, our present government, the nation's present government, owes it to us to let us know what is happening, and if we could spend that kind of money, and I was shocked that somebody defended it. Spend $3 million on travel. I don't understand how we couldn't spend 1.5. And I'm sure that if the OECS PPS had gotten that from the government of Grenada, whatever drugs they had, whatever supplies they had, dressings, whatever, they would have made it available with some kind of arrangement. So I have to continue to lobby, because it has come to that now, for more attention to be made in that regard. I just want to speak on one other thing. Recently, persons would have heard me on a program speaking about the shortage of staff.
Mm-hmm.
It is not new. It didn't start under NDC, but government is a continuum. And when you take the seat and you promise the people that you're going to do better, that you have all the answers, then you have to start giving answers. And you have to start to deal, because they have all the answers. We have a shortage here, and we have to do whatever we have to do. Engage other people, engage the workers, see what is attracting them. Some things might just be money. It may just be that, but with a number of persons, they just want certain considerations for certain things. And they might be enticed to stay. So the government of the day has the responsibility to deal with the issue on hand and to stop blaming, because they came into office because of the promises that they could do better. So forget NNP and do your work. The minister, the prime minister, do the work you owe it to the nation, and see how we can deal with this hemorrhaging, this brain drain, and maybe to step up on training more persons so that Grenada can get enough, and that some persons who want to work abroad can have an opportunity to do so. I think this is a brilliant opportunity to do that. There's a high demand for nurses worldwide. Perhaps that is one of the ways we can get some remittances and so on to increase. But that one is very troubling, and I have not heard anything about it. Lastly, I just want to say too, and I heard you say it, I want to commend you on that, Sheldon. COVID has not gone away. It has sort of come now, like when a bad flu is going wrong and so on. That is the kind of scenario I'm reading. We haven't gotten official information, and I don't see why it should make news headline if one or two persons are in the hospital. Just as when people have the flu, it doesn't make headlines. But I think a little program to remind persons that it is still there, as you said, and we should still wear masks where appropriate. We should still sanitize, and so on. And, try to keep ourselves healthy. And likewise the dengue, because, God forbid, we have a serious outbreak. You could have the hemorrhagic type, and that one is bleeding, and then you need your CBC more than ever. Mm-hmm. So we're in a situation, and we cannot make light of it. It is very serious, and I just think we as Grenadians should ask the government, now that they are assessing their performance in the past year, to add that to it, the how they're dealing with now the present situation with in healthcare, as we have spoken about, and the plans for next year and the year after, that's good too. But when we're doing the checks and balances, we have to talk about what is happening now. Sheldon, listening public,
just before
thank
you
you
go,
very much for the opportunity. Happy to serve my country.
Doc, I know you must run off because I know you're getting ready for Parliament in the morning. But there's one thing you mentioned, the dengue, and it could develop into hemorrhagic fever. There's one warning I want to make sure that you emphasize to folks, is to be careful with the medication they take if they believe they may have dengue or if they have any of the symptoms, because taking aspirin, from what I hear, could be deleterious to your health. Hello? It seems as though we've lost. Yeah, it seems as though we've lost Dr. Modest. But I was just saying that we need to be careful in case, because sometimes you may be having the headaches and the body aches and so on. And if you take specific medication, it can end up making things worse for you instead of helping. But I wanted you to hear it from a doctor. I know doctor, so that's why I wanted you to hear it from a doctor. So either Dr. Modest or Dr. Braffett, any of you that's listening, give us a call back, right? Give us a call. Right. And folks, the phone lines are open, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night. How are you doing?
I'm okay, man.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon, when we see and we hear what is going on in the country, especially with the NMP supporters, I wonder how some people with the right head and the right mind still going around and asking these people to vote NDC.
Caller, could you, I believe that might be Dr. Modest trying to call back. So let me just see if I can get that call, because I have the belief it might be Dr. Modest. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Sheldon.
I was wrong, but go ahead, since you're there. Papa, how are you?
Well, Ademan, well, I have a laugh for you, yes? Mm-hmm. Because I listened to a program with Mr. Transparency and Accountability Alive now, yes? This man say he talking about the 1 year the NEC in government. Mm-hmm. And I then I listened to what he was saying. And my God, what he was saying is that he agreed with them with the fine of the people that he fired. He said that adjustment. Mm-hmm. People starving, people hungry. You fire people. I sit down there and listen to this man and say, well, yes. This man is crazy.
Well, I was listening to it and I was wondering,
Yeah, because I don't understand where the accountability and the transparency now? That gone to bed. Because you party in power. People, I mean, come on, man. This man, well, you know, right about now, I lost. Because all the while, we asking for him to say something. I said that the man will come and, come and as a senior man, as a past prime minister, will come and address this thing properly and make sure that these people get themselves, they act together.
I'll play something for you in a while and you go laugh. I'll play something for you in a while, you go laugh.
Yeah, but I mean, look. What I'm saying is that we as Grenadians, we can't take more lies. You understand me? And the man just lying straight. A bunch of lying man. They have to stop that. Sheldon, they have to stop that. Right? That is number one. I'm calling back at him tomorrow, please, God, again. All right. Have a good night. All right.
And folks, let me just see. Yeah, I think I have Dr. Braffett. Let me make sure. Yes, I think I'm getting Dr. Braffett on the line. So, yeah, let me just make sure. And I think, oh boy, I'm not sure what happened there. I was just trying to take that call from Dr. Braffett on the WhatsApp. Let me try it again and see if I could get him, because it's actually very dangerous. According to what medication you're taking, it can be very dangerous. Hello, Dr. Braffett.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Braffett, how are you? Hello? Hello?
Hello, am I on?
Yes, you're live. Just lower the volume in the background, you're live.
Okay, yes. Well, good night to you, Sheldon. Good night to your listeners and viewers. I just happened to hear, and myself and Dr. Modest haven't had any conversation about myself calling in along with her. It's just I happened to hear what she was saying, and obviously as a medical practitioner, I am aware of certain things. But let me say that I am concerned, and I want to take the politics out of this for a minute. And I tell you why. It is very simple, basically. Any one of us at any moment can find ourselves in a situation where we need certain access to certain levels of care, basic levels of care. Now, I have no doubt that my colleagues, and I saw the name of the person with the acting director, I have great confidence in her, and I'm sure many other my colleagues in the hospital will be trying their best. And also, my remarks are going to be set against a background of knowing that under NNP things were not ideal as well. But I think right now we do have some special situations to deal with. If looking at what you put up there on the chart, and if you're just offering hemoglobins and what was the other thing? And electrolytes. Well, I would like to find out what the whole range of other tests that you need to have as emergencies, right? And again, I stress, there's not a reflection on the staff, medical, technical, or otherwise, but this is a clarion call for us to start to dive into this thing in a deeper manner. If you get a heart attack, you need cardiac enzymes. If you have a pulmonary embolus, you need other, a possibility of that, you need other tests to be done. If you're bleeding, you may need other tests to be done as emergencies. So while though you need blood sugars, perhaps blood sugars are being done. And these tests, when you have situations like this, bear in mind that the majority of our labs are not going to be open at night. A hospital functions 24 hours, 365 to 366 days a year. And you've got to be able to get the blood sample up, and within hopefully half an hour, at longest in some cases perhaps 2 hours, to be able to get a result back. So to be able to have to go into the private market and to source for those type of emergency tests, it is dangerous. It is downright dangerous. I can add that I have had over recent days a fright and personal experiences, which I won't go into again because I don't want it to be seen to be running the service, but which are of great concern to me. And I only this weekend I was talking to a youngster who was sent away and told, look, if you want to have this surgery, and he needed some surgery. Luckily, it was an emergency, but it needs to be done. They say you got to go and get it privately. And this is not a youngster who, and getting it privately means that you probably only spending in excess of $8,000 or so. So all in all, it is such a worrying situation that I think it is only appropriate to call on government and on the Prime Minister to set up some kind of committee to go and have a close look at what is happening up there. Otherwise, innocent people are going to run into problems, right? And look at it, and I would urge opposition not to either. I don't think that we have been make a political issue out of it, because this is a matter of life and death, and we have to support them in getting this thing back, a formal grip and handle on what is happening up there. What is happening within our, presumably, at least from within the hospital services, this is what I get, and the general hospital more specifically. So that's my call.
Yes, indeed. And Doc, I know as well the same question I was asking Dr. Modest, but I know she had to run off because she is preparing for a parliament sitting that's taking place in the morning, please God. The issue of people who suspect that they may have dengue and the medication that they may use to mitigate against some of the symptoms that they're having. Give us a little bit on that, please, because I've been hearing it every now and again to be careful with what it is that you're using for the headache and the body ache and that sort of thing.
The only thing you should use if you get fever and headaches and body aches now would be paracetamol or Panadol or Tylenol. They're all the same, all of them have the same active ingredient. You can take that will lower your temperature, that would reduce your pain. Many of the other tablets that you can take to reduce pain and in some instances temperature would not be appropriate. If you take aspirin, if you take what we call non-steroidals, forget the big word, the Brufens and your Voltarens and your Naprosins, all those tablets that probably some of the more one of the more common uses for it would be females when they're having menstrual cramps, etc. Or somebody gets a bad sprain, they put on one of those drugs, Voltaren, Naprosin, as I say, Brufen, etc. And there are others. You can get Voltaren, or you can get diclofenac, and you can get another a salt that is also given in that same group. So none of those is it appropriate to use in this setting, because if you have dengue, you can run yourself into problems. So, and indeed, in fact, for childhood illnesses as well and fevers, they have an additional problem if you put them on these drugs when they have fevers and you're not sure what the fever is. If you have a fever from a tonsillitis or something like that won't cause any problem, but in some viral infections, and dengue is one, it could send you into matters a lot worse. Yeah. So yeah, and I heard the advice you're giving on dengue. I think it is very important. It would strike me, I haven't looked in detail at the statistics, but it strike me as though it's been. But once you see a little surge like that, at any time it may pick up again. And so people have to be very, very, very careful indeed. In fact, yeah, because this thing can make you desperately ill. When you get severe dengue, you could be desperately ill in the hospital, and sometimes you can get complications that can cause your life, even as a young person.
Because it is dengue hemorrhagic fever, so you can hemorrhage and bleed, and some of these medications can cause you to bleed.
Outside of that, even outside the epidemic, the dengue. So if you develop, if you get joint pains and fever and headache in this setting, and then you start to see yourself bleeding from your nostril or bleeding from your gum, or having excessive bleed from your menstrual cycle, or passing dark stool, you need to get to the hospital straight away. And that is one of the settings. It's interesting that you should raise that now, because that is one of the settings in which you would immediately, you have someone come to me, and I'm in the emergency department, and have those symptoms have been showing tendencies to bleed. I want to know what their whole bleeding panel is like. It's not just good enough to do the full blood count, and I may need to know other things as well subsequently. So, going back to the question of where we are with our hospital care, which is something that every national should be, and everyone residing here has to have a concern about. This is, it needs more than I think that government has been doing. They need to look at this in a very, very deep way to at least try to stabilize the situation.
All right. Doc, we want to thank you for taking the time and giving us a call. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, and always feel free to call us at any time.
But especially in a setting like what I'm sensing now, my life has been about medical care and trying to keep people well. So I had no alternative but to I don't feel I have an alternative but to call in a setting like this. And if it was an MP, I would be equally vociferous, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much, Doc.
Right. Okay. Right. Bye-bye.
Yes, we were speaking there with Dr. Bert Braffett. And, doctor he's a special. I'm trying to remember which area he specializes in, but he does do all kind of things, right? Yeah, H.A. Blaze Street, right next to Mary Show House there. You're going after you pass Mary Show House, right? The shop and thing, right after they right by the alley, by the long step. You can check Dr. Bert Braffett there. If you have internal issues and general practitioner and so on, you could check Dr. Bert Braffett. Nice, right? 440-737. Yes, H.A. Blaze Street. Hubert Blaze Street, night, day, right. 440-7377. And that caller I was speaking to, you had to call me back, eh? Nice. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, brother.
Papa, and it's yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yes, you go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, but I was seeing it. When you look, when we see and we hear what is going on in the country, especially with the attitude of this government with the NMP supporters, right? How could someone with the right mind, the right still going out and want to tell the people, NMP supporters to vote NDC? After they was walking, you send them home because they didn't do any wrong. Because you tell them that they support NMP, you send them home. And now you still want to go out in the highway and byway and tell these people to vote NDC government. There's something must be wrong with some people. Because anyone who leaves NMP and go over and want to go around and encourage people who are working to support a party who victimize them, that person not thinking. You have to think, because look who leave, they never try to see and encourage the government to pay the people that was working. So especially the faith-based workers, they send them home without no money. Some of the workers who was working on contract, you send them home. You pay them, but it will take a long time to get the money. And look again at the security that had the contract. What they did, the victimization again. They said that they put in that under national security, but it was a lie. They want to get rid of all who they tell themselves that had contract and NFP people to get rid of them. And still want to tell them to go out, vote for NDC. Something must be wrong with these people. Right? Yes, I say go forgive man, but we never forget. And I call upon the NMP supporters. Yes, you forgive them, but never forget what they did and what they continue to do to you. Right? There comes a time you go when you go election call, you go out and vote them out totally because of what they did to you, and just remember what they did. And I have to say to Grenada people, know your history. Don't forget the history. Because when you forget the history, you continue to want to make the same mistake. And when you look at this government, Brother Sheldon, there is nothing they're doing for the poor because of it. Even the foot soldiers who support them, who work hard, what did they do? Did they have anything in place? Anything for them? No. And what they put in place is for the big boys. They forget they even foot soldiers. So we call upon the foot soldiers who support them in that election. The house is open. Come into the house. You are welcome. That's why there is love and peace there. So come over. Because we are one Grenadian. Come over and join because everyone wants betterment and everyone in the country want to see the country go forward. And we need to speak out of the injustice that is taking place in the country. So, Brother Sheldon, have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. Let me say a special good night to all the listeners out there in Carriacou. I commented Carriacou just now. All the listeners out there in Carriacou. Also, let me say a special good night to my family. Yes. Margaret and your husband. A special good night to you, Uncle Ba. Good night to you. Let me also say a special good night to all my cousins out there, Gemlin. I know all you listening. So I'm saying a special, Ira, I know you always listening. So a special good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you all having a wonderful night tonight. And let's see if we get this caller on the WhatsApp. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Hey, good night, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. You're live. Go right ahead.
Well, yesterday I go to Pastor last just coming to the beach. And they say they're having Father's Day thing, but I ain't seen nobody there like a ghost. A few people passed there. That Prime Minister, I don't know what's going on with him. The people are supporting that. I don't know what's going on with this man. Yeah, Pastor yesterday, nothing. Nobody passed. A few people.
You're from St. David. You are from St. David, huh? And here's a challenge I'll start right now to the end of the program. I want everyone from their constituency to tell me what are the NDC achievements in their constituency. What are the NDC achievements in your constituency?
Nothing good, nothing going on in St. David.
We're not counting anything that was started by or planned for by Oliver Joseph and the NNP. Anything that was started by the NDC.
Nothing.
Apart from sending people home.
Yeah, nothing going on in St. Louis right now, sir. Nothing at all. Look, the little Babylon in Malmont that tell you this thing rotting in. Nothing going on much in St. Louis for St. Louis people. Nothing going on, nothing. Not even the bushing program, nothing going on for St. Louis people. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this Prime Minister, but I don't know what's going on. Nothing going on in Latta, nothing going on, no wrong St. Louis area. Nothing going on.
All right, my brother. Well, let's see. Let's see if another constituency could call and say NDC achieved something in the constituency. The line open for them. Let's see. St. David, so you're talking for St. David, nothing in St. David.
Okay.
All right, nothing. My brother. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think we have another caller on the WhatsApp line. Let's see if we get that caller. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Hi, good night, my dear. How are you?
I'm good.
All right.
What I want you to find out for me is the cost for that ferry thing you put up on the WhatsApp there. I'm very interested.
Oh, that's the proposed ferry between Trinidad and Grenada. I'll see if I get some more information in relation to that.
All right.
Yep, guys, so it's online.
Night, yeah?
All right, my dear. No problem. Yeah, that's one of our regional listeners, and they're interested in coming up. And yeah, look, one of my news friends is just saying, remember, Dr. Braffett does endoscopy, colonoscopy, and he does various tests and so on. So you could check out Dr. Braffett for those things. Yeah, you don't have to go by Dr. Braffett and then bring it by our next doctor for them to know. You could get everything done, one-stop shop. All right, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Yeah, let's hear what the NDC has done, because right now, if you've been listening to the Prime Minister, and I've been paying particular attention, I realize I haven't been speaking much about what he's been saying. It's because I've been listening over and over to what he's been saying. And there are several themes that have been coming out there. One, the Prime Minister is all about himself. I've listened to his interview on GBN, on WeFM, on Power FM, on the other one there, Boss FM. I've listened to him on Vibes FM in Carriacou. I've listened to him on the platform in Carriacou where he spoke a whole pile of gubar. Nonsense, stupidness. You understand? Total, I mean, I was wondering if it was really a Prime Minister that stand up there to talk that, and he had people there that was actually cheering him on with that foolishness. No, I ain't mixing words with that. It was a sense of dotishness that Deacon Mitchell as Prime Minister of Grenada stand up and talk. That is disrespect to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique as far as I am concerned. No, I take this one personal. My father is from Montreal. Yeah? The larger part of my family still resides in Carriacou. So I take this one personally. It's like if he feel Carriacou people are of a lesser intellect. So he could go there to make dotish jokes and encourage people to cuss and all kind of nonsense. So he could go and he could bamboozle people. So he feel that Carriacou people are of a lesser intellect. So he hasn't gone there with a sensible message to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. What the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique wanted to hear was about the houses that your cabinet took back from the people that was given to them. That's what the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique wanted to hear about. Yeah? Those are the kind of things about what is being done in relation to the situation with several workers who were fired because they were said to be involved in political activity. Yet at that activity over the weekend, we have the photographs of several public officers in NDC t-shirts. Say it ain't so. Say we lie. Say we ain't know what we're talking about. Because we're waiting to see. We are waiting to see. Don't worry, we are a time frame, you know. We're waiting to see when those public officers will be dragged before the Public Service Commission for attending that rally, whatever you call it, wearing their political t-shirts. Don't disrespect the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique like that. When you go up there, go and talk sense. Yeah? About who running out early in Parliament and all that kind of thing. You, as a Prime Minister, that's the dotishness you go up there to talk? Seriously? When people really expect to hear about the development of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, about the development of the young people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and the way forward for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, instead of speaking about that, you talking some kind of dotishness and you're on the stage, like if you're feeling a comedy show. Come on, man. Don't disrespect the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique like that. No, I take serious umbrage with it. Yeah? And then, to listen to him over the past few weeks, have you heard him speak about the Member of Parliament? And let's just take this call, because I did ask for folks to call in and say what has been done. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night, my friend. How are you?
Not bad at all.
All right.
So, here, what I called to make it know, the Deacon, you can't say Deacon ain't doing nothing. Deacon walk in the whole of St. David's when he get a chance. Yeah.
He's walking it. That's good. He's keeping in touch.
The best he doing for St. David is walk. and he getting followers to follow him, walking.
And the bush don't lashing him? You don't see in the bush?
Well, he joking that.
My goodness. Have we fallen so low as a people that we consider that to be an achievement?
Well,
I really have to ask myself that question. I think many of us have to ask ourselves that question. If we have fallen so low that we believe that what we're seeing from the NDC are achievements, I really don't know. Have you seen anything at all in St. David you could give them credit for? Hello? Oh, the caller is gone. Yeah, let's say, watch. St. David people talk. Two people from St. David. Call your constituency or send a message. Let us know what the achievement has been within your constituency. If there's an achievement within your constituency, let us know. We're really interested in knowing what are the achievements in the different constituencies. What are the achievements? Let me see. Oh boy, what is taking place there? Hey, behave yourself thing. What do this thing here? Right, nice. Fix that now. very interested to hear from the people of St. John, you know. You all in St. John, those are you linemen down on the lands and things, those are you in Gun Battle. If you're up in Power Park, if you're up in, let me see, if you're in Grand Roy, if you're in Florida or Black Bay, wherever you are in St. John, somebody in St. John, yeah, prove that I'm wrong. Tell us what your MP has achieved in the point in time for the last year. Because I realize the Prime Minister ain't mentioned his name at all. I realize he ain't mentioning his name. Yeah? So the Prime Minister went on all those interviews and it was like the Deacon Mitchell show because it was nobody else. He wasn't able to say, well, this MP, I wanna to big up this MP because they have achieved so much within their constituency in that space of time. Yeah? We've seen them institute a new program or they're on the verge of instituting a new program. Come on. St. John's, let me hear all you. We have a call online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Okay, that callers, remember to listen to us on the phone line and not on the radio or the computer or whatever you're listening on. We know you all love to listen to us on 91.9, 91.5, and also on We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, 94.9. We know you all love to listen to us on the radio and so. But when you've called, we like to interact with you via the phone. So speak with us on the phone line, right? So you can call 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. So here, yeah, call, let us know that this has been an achievement of the NDC within my constituency. Yeah, be honest. Let us know. And we're not looking here for any project that was started under the reign of the new National Party or that you saw in the budget document back in 2021 that had to start in 2022 and it started when the NDC came in, or it started in 2023 but was in the budget document under the... No, we're not talking about that. Something that they have started. Yeah? They have the opportunity because I've been listening to the Prime Minister speaking. And up to this point in time, he has not been able to point to anything that they've done. He's been speaking futuristically. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. This is what we would like to achieve. But he has not been able to say, this is something that we came in and we're going to do and we've done. Yeah? If you take the word pension out of his dictionary, you have nothing to say, you know. You always be... And the new National Party, before the election, promised to pay the pension too. And as they very well found out, the money was there to pay it. But had the new National Party just ignored court case and everything that was there and just go ahead and pay the pension before, the same Deacon Mitchell and all of them would have said that we're trying to bribe the public and they're trying to bribe people and so on. Ain't it? The same them would have said that. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Children Scott.
Good night, sir.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm quite fine, sir.
Yes, my friend. Just my political leader, my parliamentary representative, Dr. Modest.
Yeah.
I want to say a pleasant good night. This is your boy, Duncan.
All right.
Listen to me, Mr. Man. You can say they can achieve nothing. They can achieve a lot. He like for the people want. He take back the houses in Karikou, Donald Selchief. A lot of achievements for him. Yeah? He send him 300 security as a lot of achievement. So you can say the man don't achieve, he achieve. But his achievement, not what he achieved for Grenada. He can't do nothing for Grenada. Because all what he do is to say he lying so much. I never see a Prime Minister could lie so. And he want to call Dr. Mitchell a kind of old name, a kind of bad name. I listening to on Boss FM calling Dr. Mitchell some kind of name. This boy, you don't see that man ready for Prime Minister? He ain't ready yet. You only know he there to collect the money. But don't worry, God is good. He's in control.
Of course.
You'll get him out. It's just time. So you get him out. Have a good night, brother.
All right, thank you. 440-7377. Call, tell us what your MP has been able to achieve. Your NDC MP, your NDC caretaker, what they've been able to achieve for your constituency. Because some of them may win their seat, but they are constituency office with seed program and so. So let's hear what they've achieved. We have a call online. Good night. Hello. Oh, hello. Yes, sorry about that. I had the wrong button up. Go ahead, caller.
Good night.
Good night. Yes, go
Only
ahead.
thing I say, come down, everything I say, come down below and fix up the preschool.
They do what?
They come down below and fix up the preschool. I'm saying is there.
So they fixed the preschool in Belial. So we give them that. They've done that. All right?
Yeah, that all they do.
All right, my dear. All right. And the thing with that is that there was a schedule for the repair of schools that included that school. So that's still not even their achievement. There was a schedule of schools that had to be done. And that was, anyway. But we'll get them down. We say to do that, right? Nice. So tell us, St. Patrick, one of my homes, St. Patrick, what have your 2 MPs done for you? Yeah? What have your MPs been able to achieve for the people of St. Patrick that they could come and watch you in your face and say, we do that for all you? We've got a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night. Yes, caller, you're live. Go right ahead. You're on.
Yeah, hello, good night.
Yes, caller, you're live, so you can go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, hello, good night.
Okay, you're on. We are hearing you. We're not sure if you're hearing
us. I just want to find out something about the parliament.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we just want to find out something about the job in parliament. Did the Prime Minister said that?
Well, he did say it. He did say job in parliament. He did make the statement. I don't have the statement at hand right now, but I could assure you it will be played tomorrow night. But he did make that statement on Boss FM last week. While it might be considered in jest, I think he has to understand. Yes, he did say it. Yeah?
Okay, find out about it.
All right, caller. Thank you. And folks, again, don't listen for the answers via the radio or via the computer. When I'm speaking to you, speak to me on the phone. Might be the first time, and that's why I have the patience with it. It may be the first time someone is calling a program that is done in the way that this one is doing, with the delay that this one has. So you realize I doesn't get upset and just say, oh gosh, no, I ain't getting upset. Might be the first time a person is calling. All right. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, caller.
Is this Shalon?
Yes, you're live, caller. You can go right ahead.
Yeah, Shalon. Yes, good night.
No, you're live. Speak to me on the phone line. Yes. You go ahead. Tell us what the achievements are.
Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
That is one Red Hill.
Yeah.
Nothing for the Northeast. Nothing. But I'm waiting when the election come on for you to come up my step. Let me run him down.
Oh, gosh. All right, my dear.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye. And again, we always say, don't be violent, you know. You could tell them, hey, no, stay, don't bother come. Yeah, go somewhere else. You could tell them that. But, you know, well, look, somebody say one MP achieved a multi-million-dollar loan from GDB, but that wasn't for the constituency. That was for them. We hearing that it have other MPs through CBI, that the companies they attach to make millions between June last year and June this year. That's what we hearing. Yeah? That is a fair public comment. They can't sue me in relation to that. That is what we hearing. We hearing that the Prime Minister of a company and the company make millions of dollars in CBI between June last year and June this year. We hearing that the Minister of Finance is part of a company that's involved in the CBI here in Grenada. His name is still on the website as being involved. And we are hearing the possibility that that company has made millions of dollars between June last year and this year. We're hearing that there's an advisor to the Prime Minister. We are hearing that Ms. Andrea St. Bernard, that individual who's an advisor, who is a diplomat on behalf of Grenada, who is on about 2 or 3 board, is attached to a company. We're hearing millions for that one, but we want to hear how much money that company own. Yet how much money that company get. If they're involved in CBI still, how much money have they earned? I wonder if them is 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million. We'd like to know, but that is personal. What we want to hear is what the MPs have done for the constituency between last year and this year. They say they're celebrating. We want to know what they're celebrating. We have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm supporting the caller what called a while ago concerning with the Northeast with Mr. Ron Renan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Montparnasse. I don't really check on politician or depend on politician, but since election come and gone, to be honest with you, this guy never show his face or his shadow within the Northeast area, which is Tempe and Montparnasse. I mean, that'll bother me, but I mean, principle is principle. You have to come around, meet the people, let the people know what's going on, or whatever, you understand? But as I always say, Sheldon, it's my first call, right, to your program. And one I always say, this government, particularly in power, they don't cater for the poor. They cater, Sheldon, only for the rich. Because if you take things in consideration, okay, concerning with how many school children are leaving school, right? Government is not doing nothing for the youth in Grenada. People might say this and that about the past administration, but for me, the past administration did a lot. Careless what people may say or not, but I am appealing to Grenadian. Personally speaking, Sheldon, if they don't want to stand up for the rights, that is their problem. Have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. And folks, this is the thing I'm asking, because they're celebrating. I'm trying to figure out what are they celebrating, because they're saying they achieved. What have you achieved? Yeah, some of them get big vehicle. Some of them bank account have a lot more zeros than it used to have before. Yeah, and I ain't talking about in front, and I'm talking about it have other numbers in front. Yeah, and then a set of zeros behind it. That is what they achieve. That is what their friends are achieving, because you have advisor who advising in a ministry, earning over $5,000 a month. Some of you barely making $1,800 a month. Or earning over $5,000 a month, doing an incompetent job, because that ministry is one of the worst run ministries it ever have right now. That ministry of youth and sport. Worse. Yeah? The incompetence there is amazing. And you have 2 advisors in that ministry. And one of the advisor earning over $5,000 still get security contract and still going after the street cleaning contract. That is what they have achieved. But again, I'm coming back to the MPs. What have they done for your constituency? And we are not counting anything that was formulated under the New National Party. So they can't come and say they put in hotel in St. David. That is not them. All that we know, Oliver promised that, Oliver delivered it. They can't come and say they put lights in Las Jess. Oliver promised that, Oliver delivered that. They can't come and say that they organized to get a fire truck and they build the place for the fire truck onto the St. David's police station. Oliver promised that, Oliver delivered that. The fire truck coming, don't worry, coming. Unless they take it and send it elsewhere, the fire truck is coming for St. David. That was organized under the New National Party. Yeah? And many of the other projects that you're seeing here and there in St. David that were organized. Whether it's road, they're supposed to have a center in Beaton that's supposed to be operating as a business, a youth business center. They redid the community center there. Everything that was done under the New National Party. You're not hearing anything about it now. So let's hear. What have they done in your constituency? St. John's, what have they done in your constituency? And again, I speak about particular places and people may feel I have particular issues with different people. No, it's not issues I have with people. Yeah, the same way my father is from Mount Royal, my grandfather on my mother's side is from Back Street in Guave. Yeah? Yes, I have St. John's blood in me too. Right? My grandfather, my mother's father is from Back Street in Guave. My mother's mother is from Springs in St. George's. Yeah? So when I ask about particular things, it's not because I have a problem with somebody or have an issue with somebody. It's because I hold these constituencies. I only hold a Grenada there. But you see, when you're going to disrespect people in Carriacou, and when you do the things that are being done or not being done for the people of St. John, I have a problem. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, I'm calling from St. David's.
Yes, sir.
Like to me, Oliver is still the MP of St. David's because everything that happening start under him, and I hear they making talk about the secondary school now. Hopefully they want to start it soon, and we know that started under Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, my brother. Thank you. And I think we have another caller on the WhatsApp. Let me see if I could pull up that caller. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Sheldon.
Hi, sir.
How are you tonight, sir?
I'm quite fine, man.
I'm good, man. I'm good, boy. I'm calling from St. Andrew Southwest.
Well, tell us,
Boy,
what tours do up there, boy?
Boy, wait, boy, Mr. Sheldon, I'm going to tell you, boy, since, the last day I see this man was since 2 days before election. And to be honest with you, that man have done nothing in St. Andrew Southwest. And I'm so disappointed in this government, man. Gosh, Mr. Sheldon, oh boy. But don't worry, Mr. Sheldon. Take care, man. Take care of yourself.
All right, my brother. All right.
Right, nice, man. Good, man. Yeah.
Well, we, Papa. Anyway, yes, St. Patrick. I ain't find out here St. Patrick. St. Patrick's like, all get real thing done, boy. Yeah, St. Patrick's like, all get real thing done. Yeah? Because I ain't find out here St. Patrick people calling. So I want to hear, I hear Northeast. Yeah? Tonga St. George. Yeah? Tonga St. George. What has been done in the Tonga St. George? Our sister Claudette have a constituency office. She operating with a constituency office and thing, seed officers and them operating from by her, or they operating from by the Honorable Peter David. Yeah? Who they operating from? What projects have been done in the town that were not conceived and already organized by Peter Charles David? What projects are taking place there? I want to know. Come on, only tell me. I want to know what project outside of the Send Home project, outside of the Take Back House project, outside of the we taking the 150 from the people under seed project, outside of the we kicking people off a seed project. Tell us, what achievements has this government, the MP for your area under the NDC, what have they achieved? We have a caller online. Good night.
Sheldon.
Yes,
Sheldon
sir.
Scott.
Well, you're a Sotes man. Well, you're not a Sotes man, but you're living up there. Tell us, what has taken place?
In regards to?
What are the achievements in St. Patrick of the present administration?
I just always tell people, right? I am suffering from something which I call Alzheimer's. I can't seem to see anything. I don't remember seeing anything, so I cannot really tell you what are some of the major achievements for St. Patrick's on a whole. You understand? So asking me this question would be left unanswered.
But when you're coming down from St. Patrick, it does pass through some other constituency, man. What you see they do? I sure it does pass through St. John and St. Mark and thing on your way down, man. What you see taking place? What has the NDC done that wasn't already in train by the NNP? Something new.
The only thing I think I see for St. Mark's is this healthcare, this health center, which was under the NNP. For St. John, we already know that W had worked extremely hard, where he did, if not all the work already. So the minister there practically just walking around on pavement that was paved by W. So I mean, I'm not seeing anything in regards to the debushing program. Right now, we are seeing more bush on the side of the road than anything else, and it's amazing. You understand? I think they had cut back in terms of budget for this. So it's just a whole set of mess that is happening currently now, Sheldon. So to be quite honest, I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, my head big and I had locks I could wrap around, and I still can't wrap around it, much less myself. I'm asking the people of Grenada to call and say what the MP has achieved. And you see, if we remove the word pension from the lexicon of the NDC, if we remove that word, the Prime Minister had nothing to talk about. And remember, there was a promise by the New National Party to pay it. If people didn't trust the promise, it's up to them, but the monies were there. and the NNP had promised to pay it. Now, if the NNP had paid the pension before election, you know that I say NNP trying to buy out people.
Well, we are.
That's what I say.
We know that, but Sheldon, I want to move further afield. I mean, you're talking about pension, but we have to talk. We have to have that conversation in regards to police officers. You're having police officers having the conversation of the pay and grade. You understand? Police officers are saying now that they are hearing a different music to the dance that NDC was actually dancing. They are saying now the pay and grade, they're not going to see that because monies are not there to actually deal with that issue. All right. You also having officers talking about the conditions, working environment, the conditions of the different police stations. Yeah, the police stations are practically what dry season police stations. When you see rain falling, they have to get up. They can't sleep good at night. They have to take bucket and put, to catch water and all this other thing inside their bags. It's just amazing. And I asked the question, is that what they voted for? You know, and a lot of them is more or less upset. They are angry. You know, some of them actually said to me, they said, Mosquito Man, if they call an election in the morning, I would vote out this administration. You understand? So it's relatively too much. It's too much. People are dying. People are hanging themselves. You're going to the different outlets in terms of healthcare outlets, and it's just a whole mess, Sheldon. It really is a mess.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Really
my brother. So I'm trying to find out. I want people calling and tell me. So I'm waiting for some more calls. Let
Well,
me
I'm going
see.
to tell you something.
Let me
I'm
see.
gonna tell you
Someone
something.
just said they're still waiting to see the MP in St. Andrew. Let me see. That's St. Andrew Southwest. Yes, they're still waiting to see the MP. So another person has messaged me that. Somebody tell me, go up St. John. They dig up the road by the public library. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear the
Yeah,
achievements.
Well, you're still waiting, but I'm telling you, for St. Patrick's West on a whole, I can speak for St. Patrick's West. I'm not seeing anything more than some disgruntled NDC supporters, always trying to try to see how they could ride on the Mosquito Man name and say all sorts of derogative things and catch the gate and all this other thing. But I am hanging on and I'm still doing what I'm doing. You know, I mean, they're
Yes,
not going to
indeed.
stop me.
8 o'clock
you
in the
know?
morning again. Bright and early.
Well, 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, I'm going to always keep on buzzing. And Sheldon, anytime you hear people start talking about you, it's simply because you are doing something that they know is burning them. That's the reason why they would always speak about it.
Of
But it
course.
is what it is. I'm going to continue buzzing. I'm going to always continue talking. And you,
All
my friend, have a great night and don't stop.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother.
All right, brother.
4407377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. You can call us directly or you can call us via the WhatsApp. Yes, you can call us directly or you can call us via the WhatsApp. And you can also call us on 347-329-3101. You can only call directly there, but that is specifically if you're in Canada, like Patricia and Matthew and Ian and them up there. Right. Nice. Or Zingo, Mr. Watts, Cathy, Alan Campbell, all you up there in New York and them kind of places there. Yes, Wade, go wait until just a minute before the end of the program and call me. Me and Wade go have it out tonight. We have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hey, good night.
Hi, good night. Yes, caller, go right ahead.
You really come and back out and everything like that, no money paying for it, nothing like that. That's what's going on there. All the time, every weekend. So that what happening now because they are getting the key and do what they want inside there. All right.
All right, my brother. So, yeah, the community center in Beatney, he said they're using it at the meeting and that kind of thing. I don't know. I see why here. Let me see. A message coming there. Sheldon, there isn't anything done in River Sally, St. Patrick. The lights in the past year, some not working, and Cornwall won't know because he doesn't be there. He only pass by. I ain't saying he does pass by. He sit down, have a drink. That's about it. Well, we know the tune. They going by Blast. Blast is a mass. We have a call online. Good night. Hello. Hello, good night. All right, so we missed out on that caller. Let's go to the WhatsApp. Yeah, let's go to the WhatsApp. And we have a call online. Good night.
What you buffing me for, brother?
Me buffing you?
Until when to call, brother, what you buffing me for?
I not buffing you, brother.
How you doing?
I'm good. Here now. Wait. I must take this next call. Call me back. Let me call you. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Hello, good night.
Yes, Mr. Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am.
Good night. I had to come back for a second time because I must talk about what has happened.
Go right ahead, Doc.
Oh, yes. Let me. I just want to mention a few things.
Yeah, go ahead.
The nice Monkuma Road.
Mm-hmm.
The work that is going on the airport. I understand the air bridges are being constructed. So when you come in the big planes now, you don't have to fight to maneuver, come downstairs. Eventually, you'll just walk across nicely.
Not only that, Doc. A time I come in and rainfall. A time I come in and rainfall.
Medical station.
Mm-hmm.
We did a nice covered bridge up by the chocolate factory.
Mm-hmm.
We did a nice one that goes to the cemetery. And, people use the cemetery, so we have to make sure the road is good. And just want to add one more that we did.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Doc.
So the thing is, while we look at 1 year of other people in office, we also have to look at 1 year after NNP. The good work continues. Thank you very much.
All right, Doc. Thank you so very much, Doc. Here's what. Let's see if we could get back Wade. Yeah, we ain't letting Wade get off the hook. Yeah, Wade really getting off the hook. So you ain't getting off the hook, partner. Calling you. You're not getting off the hook. We calling you, Wade. Yeah. Right, folks. Yeah, because I remember a time I came in. I can't remember where I was coming back from. But then to get from the aircraft in, rain was falling and they had to give us this little plastic thing you put on and you had to run for it for the thing. Now we're trying to get rid of that sort of thing. Yes, Wade?
Yes, my friend. Talk to me as a man, not a beast.
No, I'm just saying hello, brother, because I know you just like to call a minute 2 minutes 2, that kind of thing. So I was just making sure that you know not to do it this time.
You see, I like to make sure that the callers and, everybody else call and get their calls in and, and save the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding with you, my friend. No, I'm in TO. I'm up north.
Oh, okay.
I'm up north, yeah. I'm heading Brooklyn in the morning, God's willing.
All right, so you're closer to the North Pole right now.
Spend the past week and a half, nearly 2 weeks in the Dominican Republic. You know something, Sheldon, as I have you on that point, as I made that point here. Let me tell Grenadians something. You see that level of hospitality we have in Grenada, while we rank in the world, when it comes to hospitality, resorts and all of those things, Grenadians better really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, we may not have the tourism volume like the DR and these places have, but brother, what we got is precious. These places are just, you go on a brochure, you go online, you see them, that's all it is. That's all it is. Some of them, the resorts are nice, but bro, when it comes to the customer service and the food and those things, sucks. It's the worst. It's the worst.
I could imagine.
I experienced that in DR 100%. Bro, everything I eat in DR, send me in the bathroom. And I man that's eat. When people come Grenada, when I was last home and I went to Chubru Bay, for the past. I was able to get local dishes, fish, whatever. Over there, they're giving you Mediterranean food. They heat it in a microwave and put it in front of you. When the plate go down, it's hot. By the time you stick a fork in something, it's cold. The meat, they don't cook the meat thoroughly. I thought it would be just one night,
So it's an overall bad experience in the Dominican Republic.
Bad experience. Bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Bad experience. The meat not cooked. I love goat meat, especially curry goat. And Spanish curries are nice curry.
I wouldn't know.
So
the one time I had Spanish food, I was sick for 3 days. I don't eat Spanish food. Sick
Spanish
for 3
curry
days.
is a nice curry. It's a nice curry, similar to the Jamaican curry. It's really nice. They put that food in front of me. The gravy was, as I said, the curry's on point. But brother, when you stick the fork in the goat, the goat running. You can't hold the goat to cut it to eat it. Can't chew it.
Meh.
Seafood. The sea cat. They serve sea cat and whatever, and I can't chew it. That was a major problem with everybody that we, interact with down there. The food and the service. It's terrible. And
So
I keep
Grenada
telling
is
people,
top of
you
top when
want
it comes to
change
that.
it. My point to them is, you want to change that experience? Yeah, go to Grenada. Type it in your phone, Google it. Pick a resort, go.
Wait,
Experience it for yourself.
I'll call you, but I can't stay long. I can't stay long with you because
We go to,
My brother,
we
have
go
a good
to-
night.
Yes, my
Yes.
friend. You too, bro. Bless.
And here it is. We've given an opportunity, and I'm getting loads of messages. And for those of you that might be online, if you are checking the live and the comments in the live, and hey, I say I want 100 likes. Where the 100? Where the 100 likes? I want to see 100 likes. Right, I see the 100 likes on YouTube. I ain't trying to see it on Facebook yet, and I'll go refresh just now and see if it day. Right? Nice. Yes, folks. Now, it's very important what Wade was just speaking about because it speaks to us as a people. I've seen some behaviors displayed by us as Grenadians between yesterday and today. Not going into details about what happened, how it happened. My name is Sheldon. Not Constable Sheldon, not Corporal Sheldon, not Sergeant Sheldon, etc. The police have a job to do. We can offer condolences to the bereaved, but at the end of the day, I've seen some behaviors, and we have to understand, outside of Grenada, there are others, like the same Canadians who just, with the visa thing there, and others who are looking in at how we interact and how we treat each other. And we have to be careful because the outside world is looking in. This is not Grenada in the year 1973. When to get a message out, you have to send a telegram or you have to send a letter that's going to take weeks and sometimes months before it reaches destination and before a response reach. Yeah? This is Grenada in the year 2023, where anything you say, anything you show, immediately travels around the world in seconds. We have to be careful to protect our image as a people. And not only that image, but it must be really us. We must show people the true Grenadians that we are friendly, we are kind, we are caring people. Yeah? I think a lot of us have already forgotten the messages that Hurricane Ivan teach a lot of us. The neighbor who you didn't want to talk with was who you had to run to save you and your family life. I think many of us have already forgotten those lessons that we learned in 2004 when Hurricane Ivan hit. That people that you didn't speak to for years, you had to go and lie down next to them in the shelter for weeks in some instances. Yeah? That the water courses and so that we didn't take care of and you're going and wash down vehicle and all, that's where you had to go and get water to drink and to wash your clothes and different things like that. So we have forgotten a lot of the messages we learned back then. And I think it's time for us to do a national reset. A national reset in how we interact and how we treat with each other as a people. All right? So folks, in everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Clips tomorrow night. Clips, and calls. All right? So, folks, looking forward. There are some meetings this week. I have to double confirm. I know there's a meeting in the town of St. George this week, and there's some other meetings. So, definitely, I will have that information for you. I'm not sure if one meeting is taking place tomorrow. As I said, I didn't get the info. So, I'm hoping to get that soon. All right. So, folks, in everything you say and everything you do, do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. I am out of here. Let me see if I get here. Watch, is that tune here I ain't play for a lot of years, boy. A very talented young fella, you understand?
This is Yaga. Let them know them can't. Couldn't see the light at all. Oh, that was yesterday. Today I'm gonna smile. Today I'm gonna laugh out loud. Today I will be free. Today I'm gonna sing a melody. Today I'm gonna shout. Today I'm gonna dance in the wind. Today I'm gonna live. Today I'm gonna live. Yesterday, so much people could hurt you, and it made you feel so sick inside. Whoa, but that was yesterday. Yesterday, the system could fool me, lead me on my back to fulfill their glory. Whoa, whoa, but that was yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't have the courage to fight them. I was inferior among them. But today, I can say I am strong. Oh, today I'm gonna smile. Today I'm gonna laugh out loud. Today I will be free. Today I'm gonna sing a melody. Today I'm gonna shout. Today I'm gonna dance in the wind. Today I'm gonna live. Today I'm gonna